As you know, the protests have created a lot of friction between the president and both current and former military officials. In fact, the Associated Press has a story this morning with a headline, White House and Pentagon tensions near breaking point. You've covered the military for decades. What's your take here?
Well, I think really this week was stunning when you had Secretary Jim Mattis, General Jim Mattis, come out with very harsh, very strong words directed right at the president. You had the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mike Mullen. So this seemed like a real inflection point as well. Those men were clearly angry about what the president had done and threatening to put active duty combat troops on the street face to face, not just National Guard, but bring in active duty military. Done and threatening to put active duty combat troops on the street face to face, not just National Guard, but bring in active duty military.
His officers are dangerously outnumbered, surrounded.
Officers being chased by the group here.
Their cars on fire. Looters take over. As Saturday night anarchy reigns through America. This is Beverly Hills. High-end stores looted, famous shopping centre The Grove cleaned out. And burning. Fairfax, near Hollywood, a battleground.
And threatening to put active duty combat troops on the street face to face.
My first and highest duty as president is to defend our great country and the American people. I swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation, and that is exactly what I will do. A number of state and local governments have failed to take necessary action to safeguard their residents. Innocent people have been savagely beaten, like the young man in Dallas, Texas, who was left dying on the street.
Dallas police tell us they have not made any arrests in that attack, and at last check, the victim was stable.
Or the woman in upstate New York, viciously attacked by dangerous thugs.
A drive-by in Detroit killed a teenager in the crowd.
First, we are ending the riots and lawlessness that has spread throughout our country. We will end it now. Today, I have strongly recommended to every governor to deploy the National Guard in sufficient numbers that we dominate the streets. Mayors and governors must establish an overwhelming law enforcement presence until the violence has been quelled.
And threatening to put active duty combat troops on the street face to face, not just National Guard, but bring in active duty military.
If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents,
and threatening to put active duty combat troops on the street face.
If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem for them. I am also taking swift and decisive action to protect our great capital, Washington, D.C. What happened in this city last night was a total disgrace. As we speak, I am dispatching thousands and thousands of heavily armed soldiers, military personnel, and law enforcement officers to stop the rioting, looting, vandalism, assaults, and the wanton destruction of property.
Bring in active duty military. I think you're looking at this photo opportunity right now where the Secretary of Defense there behind him, I do not think meant to be in that photo opportunity. You've got General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, behind him in what's called the battle dress uniform. He backed out of the photo op, but I think both men regret being part of that walk. They want to keep politics away from the Pentagon, and that is very important to them.
You are fake news. I am your voice.